He spent almost 20 years inside the wedding industry. As a photographer, a speaker, and a coach, he's worked at every level of this business and watched what actually builds relationships and what quietly destroys them. This is Mastering Networking in the Wedding Industry with your host, Julian Ribinic.
This is a limited series on networking in the wedding industry. Not how to get work fast, but how trust actually forms, why most people get it wrong, and what really works long term. Hi, I'm Julian Rabinik. I've spent almost 20 years in the wedding industry, working alongside planners, venues, designers, and vendors across every level of this business. I've also spent years speaking and coaching wedding professionals. Here's a complaint I hear all the time. I've known this planner for 2 years. We get along. We talk at every event we meet. She never sent me a single lead. And the explanation people give themselves is usually some version of, well, maybe she doesn't think I'm good enough. Maybe my work isn't there yet. Maybe I need to push harder. None of that is what's happening. What's happening is something almost nobody in this industry explains out loud. So let's talk about it today. A referral is not an introduction. A referral is a personal endorsement, and I'm making air quotes here because endorsement in the polite word for what it actually is, which a planner attaching their name to work in front of couple they spend months earning trust with. That's not a small thing. That's a serious bet. Now, think about what that bet actually costs the planner. If you do an amazing job, the planner gets a thank you. Maybe a kind word, maybe a referral back, eventually. If you do a mediocre job, the planner gets blamed. Quietly. The couple doesn't say your photographer was just okay. They say, I'm not sure why our planner thought he was a good fit. And if you mess up badly, the planner gets a problem they have to manage for the next year. Maybe longer. Maybe the couple tells their friends. Maybe the friends were going to call that planner for their own wedding and now they don't. So look at the math. Upside, a thank you. Downside, years of damage to a relationship the planner spent 5, 10, 15 years building. The math doesn't do favor referring. The math favors not referring. I know it's surprising. And when you understand that, the silence stops feeling personal. Let me give you a real example. This one of mine. And it's not flattering to me, which is exactly why it's useful. A couple of years back, I had a wedding where clients clearly needed a planner. I told them, You're cut. I told them early on. I said, when you're ready, I'll suggest someone. They dragged it for months, and by the time they came back, it was too late for a full planner. They needed a month of coordinator at that point. So I gave them a couple of options, people I thought would fit their scope and budget. One of them was a planner I hadn't worked with yet, but I knew her socially. She was an amazing human, posted cool work, seemed to fit the brief. She was also probably the lowest cost option for that couple. So they hired her. Now, here's where it gets uncomfortable. As we got closer to the wedding, she started complaining to me privately about the bride. She said she was unreasonable, hard to work with, asking for things out of scope, but she said it's going to be great. She had it under control. Then wedding day comes. She wasn't a planner. She was a girl with a folder, super stressed, super nervous, running like a chicken without a head, couldn't handle basic things. And I'm saying it as a photographer, not as a planner, right? If I see it, ooh, um, things we could have run ourselves without a coordinator at all, she was not good at. She was snappy with the couple, and obviously the bride and groom noticed. The couple's party noticed. She kept coming to me for mental support on the day off, like I was supposed to hold her together so she could do her job. I mean, we are friends, right? And meanwhile, my team was quietly covering for her because I do have an assistant on almost on every event. And I just basically turned my assistant into little coordinator. We were doing things she missed. We were picking up slack so the day didn't fall apart for the couple. We weren't doing it for her. We were doing it because the couple deserved a good day and a really good experience, which probably was going down the drain. After the wedding, the couple was not happy with the planner. They understood that wasn't my fault and they knew I tried to help them. But it was still my recommendation and it doesn't fully wash off. That's the cost of referral. Even when nobody blames you, even when the relationship survives, even when you did everything right on your end, you still will feel it. Couples still will feel it. And I will never refer that person again, even though I love her as a person. And obviously, I'm not going to tell her, which I probably should, but I'm not going to. Now, here's the part that connects back to what we talked about back in episode 3. I sorted her, the planner, the way most people sort. Nice person, good Instagram, fits the brief, and that was my evaluation. And I was wrong because sorting is not vetting. You cannot see how someone behaves on the wedding day from how they network at an event. You cannot see how they handle a difficult client from their portfolio. You cannot see how they treat their peers under stress from a single conversation at a cocktail party, or from two, or from three, or maybe from 10. Trust at this level is information you only get from pressure. And pressure takes time to show up. That's why referrals are so cautious, because the people who refer have been burned before. They have been the one who attached their name to someone who didn't do their job well, and they understand the cost. So when a planner says, I love your work, but I don't refer easily, that's not a brush off. That's an honest answer. They are telling you the truth about how the system works. And be thankful if a planner tells you, because most will just not. You'll be friends, you will have drinks, you will go for lunch and coffee, and you will dance together. And that's it. Now, you might be thinking, well, I'm good at what I do. If they just saw my work, they would refer me. And here's the point: the work isn't the gate. The planner already knows your work. They've seen it. That's not the question. Also, your work, good as it can be, it's subjective. Some people like it, some people don't. Doesn't mean it's good or bad. The question is, do they trust how you'll behave when something goes wrong on an event day? Because something will go wrong. Something always goes wrong. And the planner has to know whether you will handle it like a professional or whether you'll add to the problem. And that's information they cannot have until they've actually worked with you. It's like a chicken and the egg. So, how does trust like that get built? And the answer is slowly, in small, low stakes ways, showing up reliably, being normal under pressure, handling little things well, treating other vendors with respect, not making the wedding day harder than anyone around you, doing the right thing when nobody is watching. And all of that if you get the chance. Because none of that happens at a networking event. And none of that comes from a pitch deck. And none of that is on your Instagram. And there's one more thing I want to mention briefly. Even when the trust is there, the pipeline may not have the room. I covered this back in episode 1. and I won't rehash it, but just remember, when a planner trusts you, even when they would refer you, they may already have 3 other people they refer to in your category. Adding a fourth means displacing one of them, and displacing someone they've already vouched for is a whole other risk on top of the first one. So the system isn't broken, it's protective, and you should do the same. Here's the mindset shift that this episode is really about, or so I hope. Stop treating referrals as something you've earned by being good or a friend, because you didn't. Start treating them as something the referrer is putting on the line for you. When you do that, 3 things change. You stop being frustrated when referrals don't happen because you understand why. You start respecting why they are rare. And that respect shows in how you carry yourself around people who have the power to refer. And you start understanding what actually unlocks them, which is patience, reliability, and being someone other vendors want to work with again, which, by the way, is exactly what we'll be getting into in the next few episodes. If there's one thing to take from this episode, it's this: a referral is a risk before it's anything else. When you understand that, you stop being personally hurt by silence. You stop pushing. You stop expecting. And ironically, that's when trust actually starts forming. Because trust requires patience that most people refuse to have. In the next episode, we'll talk about why your dream planner is not your entry point and why pushing the right door at the wrong time can burn the relationship for years. You've been listening to a limited series on mastering networking in the wedding industry. No hacks, no shortcuts, just how it actually works. I'm your host, Julian Rabinik, and I'll see you in the next episode.